All right. Uh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I think Devin said he was on his way. Um, so once he gets in here, uh, go ahead and get started without him. But he'll be joining us in a little bit. Um, Forgive me because I feel like absolute garbage right now. Hopefully that changes as we get going. Uh, but what's going on? Welcome back. I told you guys yesterday I want to try something brand new. And we kind of talked about this idea a little bit over the past weekend. And it's something that I've kind of wanted to do for a little bit, but never really had the initiative or motive to kind of go along with it. Um, but I got some fellow EDM lovers that are on board with me, so I figured, you know what? Why not give it a shot? See what happens. So today we're gonna start a new series. As you guys can see in the title, it's gonna be called Bros and Shows. Um, we are looking to take our love, our passion for electronic dance music, and just kind of share some of the experiences that we've had thus far. Talk about some of the shows that we've gone to, festivals that we go to, kind of review some of the shows, talk about new releases, just all things EDM or even live music in general. Um, I have become someone who has been uh, hugely in love with live music. It's basically changed the way that I've done a lot of things in my life. And I just want to be able to share that passion out to the world. So we're going to start this series. Today's episode, as you can see, we're going to be talking about Reunion. And let me tell you, that mug was crazy. um, it was the first time that I have been able to experience something like this. Trowski's been to Lost Lands. Uh, Trowski, why don't you tell me a little bit about your first experience at Legend Valley?
It's dubstep Disneyland is all it is. I mean, the stage is massive. It's one of the more massive stages I've seen, and just the sound quality and just the overall like production that Excision brings to this festival is just it's top tier. Like, I don't think about to go to EDC Orlando, and I still don't even think they can top what Excision does.
And Excision's been uh, Lost Lands was named in the top 10 music festivals in the world. I think it was in 2019. There was a poll, and of the top 10 festivals in the world, Lost Lands in little old Ohio was in that top 10 list, which is pretty awesome to think. Um, and so, obviously last year I was supposed to go to Lost Lands. Then COVID hit and basically destroyed all live music, and everybody was upset. Now that vaccinations are rolling out, people are trying to take a little bit better care of themselves. We're starting to see live music and shows trickle its way back in to the world, and we kind of starting to feel like the world is healing. We know the Delta variant is out there, things like that, and then a couple of us have been aware of some of the news that had leaked out today about some people that had tested positive from the previous weekend. I won't go into that because that's none of my business to talk about. If you know, you know. If you don't, you can probably figure it out. But to go along with that, that was my first time ever being able to experience Legend Valley. Uh, I remember that first day pulling up, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I in for? I have no idea what I'm about to experience. I've seen Excision once before, and that in itself was a treat. And that's actually, now that Devin's in here, that the first time I saw Excision was actually the first time I learned that there were more people that I went to high school with that actually liked EDM. So I thought that was hilarious seeing that.
Oh yeah.
And then, from there we kind of built this whole like, let's go to a show together. Let's go to a show together. And I pick at Trowski all the time about trying to get him to come up here to go to shows, and he's tried to get me to come down to Bowling Green. It's never worked out, but we finally got to go to one together. and I mean the experience, the sound quality, it's top tier. I mean, it's something that you would never expect to experience in your life. You know,
No,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
Devin, you've been, how many times have you been to Legend Valley now? Is that your second time?
That was actually my third time. So I was at Lost Lands 2018, which was the second Lost Lands 2019, and then this most recent time, and a lot of other festivals too, honestly. And I mean, Legend Valley and what Excision does there, as far as production goes, it takes the cake. There is not a stage with with better sound or just a bigger stage anywhere that I've been, at least.
I mean, that man, Excision's basically king right now, if we're being honest. He has kind of taken that step, at least to me, in my eyes, in the EDM community, the EDM world. He is that top tier person. There's a lot of artists underneath him that are very, very talented. And I'm not saying in terms of talent, but just what he does as far as production goes. I mean,
Yeah.
he's set the bar, especially for some of these artists that are starting to come along with their own record labels. When Subsidia Records dropped last year, that's when we started to see other artists kind of expand off of that. Subtronics had Cyclops Army recording. I think, did Sullivan King come out with
Slander.
something? Slander came out with theirs. So I think that he kind of started that trickle down effect, which is awesome to see. So going along with that, let's go ahead and just dive straight in, talk about Reunion. For you guys, I mean, what did it feel like to finally be back into a crowd? Finally being able to get back into it, experience the lights, the sound, the drops, the overwhelming positivity of the community that we saw.
I'm gonna
Dylan,
let
you wanna go
Trousky.
first?
No,
Okay.
I was gonna say I was gonna let you go first. No, you go first.
I mean, walking down the hill, that we have to go down it before you see the stage is one of the most exciting things. Because I remember at Lost Lands, my first year, you could hear the bass like even before you get close to the stage,
It's very true.
and getting closer and closer, and you can't see the stage until you get to a certain point, but like you can still just hear the music and hearing everybody yell. It's just an exciting feeling, and then being around the community, everyone's just super nice.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's looking out for each other. And Devin, you got some static going on your
Yeah,
mic.
you do.
Oh yeah, if I don't talk long enough, my mic will do this right now. It's a
Oh,
weird
no.
issue. I'll just pop in with what's a funny word I can say every like 30 or 40 seconds.
I don't know. Surprise us.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was just nice being back. I mean, like I said, I went to a bar that had some EDM artists there, but it's just not the same going to an actual venue, being surrounded by everybody that has the similar interests, and just talking to everybody about it. Plus, I mean, literally, no one cares what you wear. I mean, Jalen and I talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he wore a kimono that most people, if he wore out in public, he would not get a single compliment.
Yeah.
But literally, it was like every 10 minutes, somebody approached him and was like, "Man, I love your outfit." So, it was just nice being back and actually, getting live music. Plus, nothing beats lasers, and Excision brought plenty of those.
It's very true.
Always.
Devin, what
My,
about you?
My static safe word is bass, by the way. So if you hear me
Okay.
just say bass, that's what it is. But honestly, that is what I've been waiting for since COVID happened. That is the longest break I've had since I have started going to festivals in 2017 without going to a live show or a festival or something like that. And yeah, it just felt like I was holding my breath waiting for the past year and a half, and finally got to take a fresh breath. And everything Trousky said hit the nail on the head. I feel like the community was even more friendly and more positive
Yeah, I agree.
than last time, just because it's been so long. Everyone was just so happy to
And
be
that
back.
was the first festival back for a lot of people. I mean, myself included.
Yeah.
I hadn't had the opportunity to go to anything. I think I went to one drive-in show last year. A couple of my friends and Whitney and I went and we saw Rez in Columbus, which was great. Don't get me wrong; it was awesome. But you can tell the difference between they were trying to make things work that the experience just wasn't there like it is with a normal show. And I have, myself have been to a surplus of shows. I wish I still had my list that I'd created, but I think I was close to about 100 live shows that I've been to since, or I guess 100 artists that I've seen since I started back in like 2017. So for that in itself was crazy to think that, it's been since early 2020. I think the last show I saw before COVID was Chelsea Cutler with my buddy Garrett in Louisville, which was awesome. Loved it. And
She is awesome.
I was
Just
preparing.
throwing it out.
Yeah, I was preparing to see Subtronics that following week. Arm & Hammer. I had tickets to BTSM and a meet and greet for that. There were so many things. Kaizo, and didn't get the chance to go, so that was quite upsetting. But whenever I was checking the weather, I think the biggest thing for a lot of people was we didn't know whether or not we were actually going to get an opportunity to have that experience. And Trowski and I and Kristen were driving up Friday, and I just remember I kept checking the app. And every single time, yeah, he's going to be ready. I promise, Tater. I promise he'll be ready. I kept checking the app, and I was like, we're never going to get the opportunity because it's just going to rain the whole time. And I get to the campsite with them, and it pours. Anybody that saw my Snapchat knows it poured down. It was horrible. And we're sitting there underneath this tent trying to stay dry, and I'm like, there ain't no way. Like, if this doesn't pass, there's no way we're going to get an opportunity. And then Excision sends out the tweets that they closed down the site and that there was lightning in the area, and they'd let everybody know. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I just drove 2.5 hours up here, and I'm going to have to turn back around and go home. Luckily, Kristen's lucky penny saved us all. I'm going to stick by that. And we got an opportunity, and it was fantastic. It's just like they said, just the opportunity in itself. I met a lot of people, a ton of different people that, all share that same passion. It's one thing when you talk to people on social media, you see people post photos and videos, and you're like, man, that's so awesome. But then you think about it, you're like, I actually experienced that with you. And you were just like me. You watched anime. The amount of people that watched Demon Slayer that recognized my kimono, like Trowski said, was honestly impressive to me because a lot of people don't pay attention to things like that. I know anime's getting more mainstream, but in reality, you go to an event like this, you can wear whatever you want. I mean, my fingernails were painted black.
Yeah.
I had a kimono on. Devin had a kimono on. It just didn't matter. Or you found people that were wearing things just like you were. I saw multiple people wearing the same kimono that I was, or people wearing the same jerseys. It's just cool because that's that connection that you can make with people that you have no idea who they are. But the next time you see them at a show or festival, you're like, hey, I remember you. I met a guy from Chicago, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But, things like that are just, it's awesome. So going into the next little bit, I want to talk about top 3 sets. I think we got a couple clips. I saw a girl post about this on Twitter, and she had asked, what was your favorite set? For me, I think Subtronics takes the cake. It was the first time I got to see him live, and just, you can look at this clip. It was something to behold.
Oh yeah. The Shisha. He really is just the best. Just the best description.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. But I mean, it was so awesome seeing that live and just thinking that the whole time you're watching that, you're like, holy smokes, like we're back. We are back, we're back, we're back, we're back. Like I'm finally here. And I'm speechless. I'm literally just speechless from the opportunity. So, like I was saying, my top 3, Subtronics, Sudden Death was number 2. I mean, dude, I haven't got to experience a Void set yet, so I'm really excited for Lost Lands to have an opportunity to see that. But let me tell you, Sudden Death, bro had my freaking chest vibrating the entire hour that he was playing. Like, I could not believe the things that I was hearing. And then, obviously, I feel like I have to say it. Excision Night 1. I mean, that was like just a welcome back. I'm here. Let's get it. It was fantastic. So, what about you guys?
Oh, wow. Go ahead, Trowski.
It sucks because like Excision is just like, let's just eliminate Excision. We'll just say Subtronics is definitely number 1. I mean, his set.
Yeah.
I mean, was probably my favorite. I've seen him 3 times now. That was probably my favorite set from him. Second, I actually really enjoyed Sullivan King.
Sullivan King was fantastic.
First time seeing him, and I thought he had a good mixture of everything. Third, and not including Excision, I would probably say, let me think. I would probably say AT Aliens. I really enjoyed their set. I thought they were cool. That was the first time seeing them as well.
Yeah, they were definitely really good.
I think their sound is very interesting, just because of the that low frequency sound that they use quite often. They don't really use a lot of like explosion loud sounds in your face, but it's more so like deep bass, and I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like I can hear that. I don't know how, but I feel like when I listen to AT Aliens, that I can hear that they're from Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is about the sound, but
speaking of, I'm still upset that they did not play Fuck That. I'm really upset. So if you guys, when you guys are at Lost Lands, please, I need to hear Fuck That live. I have to. I have to hear it. It has to happen, please.
While we're putting out these requests, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jalen, but I have to put this out here because every year, so Excision always does a detox set, but I am convinced that it's trying to detox you from being able to hear. I don't know what his idea of detox is, but I have never been more fucking rocked by a set. I'm sorry for my language, but
look, here's a prime example. You know, video credit to Trowski, but this is a detox. This is part of the detox set. It really was.
Headbanging right here, right now. I just want you all to know, without it just happened.
But that's detox right there. So yeah, and it was so funny too, because on my way home I was laughing to myself because I was like, it's weird that I'm thinking like, bro, this sound is crazy, and then people keep telling me Lost Lands is 50 times louder than that, and there was points at reunion where I was like, dude, my ears actually kind of hurt. Like, this is loud. Like, so I don't know how I'm gonna make it through Lost Lands if it ggets louder than that. Because I promise you, the Detox set on night 2 was louder than night 1, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
I don't know what he did. It was whenever Wooly hit the button. He hit that button. Which, by the way, does anybody know what that button is?
It's
I
supposed to
guess
just
the
be
base button. I don't know.
People are. I saw speculation on Twitter that people think that button is gonna be the album release. Like at Lost Lands, I was like, that'd be a cool thing. Don't get me wrong, that'd be super tight. But like, think if like in the middle of his set or right before his set, he like just hits the button and it's like, boom, album live. Oh, dude, I'd get lit. I'd get so
See
hyped.
him doing that.
It would be
I
so
mean,
hyped.
and that's just how he is. Honestly,
It
going
is.
back to what you're, I'm gonna have to leave here in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're good.
So I got to get out some thoughts really quick. But going back to what you were saying about Excision being at like the top of the game, doing his entire own festival. I mean, he is at the top of the game. Everything he's doing. I mean, obviously he enjoys going up there and having the 1,000,000 watts of bass for his festival and the dinosaurs, but he does it to like spread awareness of the community. He does it to like get those new people a chance to like be recognized. No artist does a better job of getting new up and coming people recognized than him, whether it's
agree.
playing them in his sets, bringing them to his festival, all of that. Like he does a great
Agree.
job. And then just on a festival level experience, every festival has its own personality and its own culture and all of that.
Yep.
And it's curated by somebody, but you can really tell that this festival is curated by somebody who like is really in touch with the community, who listens to the fans and like does what the fans want, even though he won't play Sleepless for me, even though I've requested it like 3 years in a row now, whatever. No one's bitter about that. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, I mean, he really, really does just improve it every single year. Like from 2018 to 2019 to 2021, he implements something different or some sort of improvement every time.
And he's talked about, he had teased it with a couple people on Twitter. Lost Lands 21 is going to be bigger than 19. He's already confirmed it. And Trousky and I joked about it because Trousky was there. He was like, I don't know how he can make the stage any bigger than it already was last year. And I'm looking at the reunion stage. And the reunion stage was pretty big. And he's like, yeah, the 19th stage was from this point to this point. Anybody that was there, if you see this video, you know what he's talking about. But to think that it gets bigger than that, I'm like, huh? Like, so you're telling me I can sit here and see both stages at the same time? I'm excited. I'm excited to say the least. Well, Devin, since you've got to go, just give me this last topic, and then Trousky and I will kind of backtrack a little bit before we finish off. But your favorite moment from the weekend? Talk to me.
Oh my gosh! Wow, what a difficult question. I'm not prepared. I wish I had some more time.
Don't act like I didn't send you these notes well in advance.
Where did you send the notes?
Huh?
Okay, I'm not good with technology, but I think probably
Getting out of the parking lot.
yeah, getting out of the parking lot the first night
It's terrible.
was intense, and I was straight vibing
It
though.
was so
Like
bad.
I was getting out of the
It was-
car, walking around, got some beers, made some friends. That was a good moment. But probably not the top. I think I can't pick a favorite. I'm sorry. I can't. I really can't. There are so many good moments. I'll just say a couple of my favorite moments. Day one, getting to hang out with Michael. That's another one of our friends that was there. He's like one of my best friends, and we've done a lot of shows together. So getting to hang out with him and just go hard was nice. Day two, pulling up. Honestly, day one when Excision first started the set two was there. Day two, pulling up and seeing that you were wearing a kimono too, Jalen. That was completely unplanned, but super lit. I loved being the kimono boys. That was a lot of fun. Rubbing Trousky's semi-bald head for luck. That was another favorite. Me and Kristen running off to the bathroom together to like, because she had to go to the bathroom, I had to go to the bathroom. But it was just fun. Just the whole thing, the whole experience was fun. I feel like I got to really enjoy people. Our conversation about you painting your nails and like what you're trying to do with your kids at the middle school and like teach them that they can be themselves and like, as long as they're not hurting anybody else, like it's cool. That was a really cool conversation to have. And
Don't
I
rush
really,
it,
really
Tater.
respect what you're doing.
I appreciate that
Um,
very much. I'm
and
glad.
then
I'm glad we're getting the opportunity to do this too, because this is kind of fun. I'm enjoying this. I don't
Yeah,
like Tater rushing you
breakdown.
as if
Devin,
any of the Rocket League games have ever started on time, Tater. Let's be real here.
Right.
How many times have I played or tried to broadcast your all's games and they have never started on time?
not once.
and when Devin says he went to the bathroom, what he really means is he went to the bar. Because every time that boy said he was going to go to
Yeah.
the bathroom, he came back with a drink.
Yeah, we
Look,
looked.
you
We
gotta
looked up and
empty
we're
the
like,
tank,
there he
you
is
gotta
over there.
refill the tank, empty the tank, refill the tank. It's all about balance. And on that note, I have to go smack some kids in Rocket League, but it was
Alright.
great talking to you all. We'll have to do it again soon on the next show we all go to, I guess.
We'll be back next week. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But I appreciate you
Alright.
stopping by. Go kick some butt.
All right, thank you. Y'all take it easy.
You too, man.
See you.
All right. So I kind of want to tag on what he was talking about with the parking experience. So literally, for anybody that was there that understands the debacle that was post first night, actually second night was worse. And I left
I
early.
I'm gonna talk to you about it.
Yeah.
So I didn't
I'll go into detail with the second night, but first night, anybody that was there understands how horrible it was. I mean, we left the park, or we left Legend Valley. What time? Probably like maybe around midnight, maybe 12:15, something like that. We were walking out
Yeah.
of the venue at 12:15. So we get to our cars and everything. It's about 12:30, 12:45. No, 12:30. And it's a complete standstill. I mean, people could not figure out the proper way to get out of this lot. And I mean, it's a huge grass field. I mean, giant grass field. It's been raining all day, so it's muddy, so you can't really get around very easily. Well, on top of that, you got some obnoxious person, I don't know who they were, just continuously shooting off fireworks. I mean, literally every 2 seconds, boom, pop, boom, pop,
Yeah,
boom,
and it was
pop,
the
and you're
mortars,
like,
too. It wasn't like a
yeah,
little firework,
it
it was
wasn't
the
the little
mortars.
baby fireworks, it was mortars, like, and they're right next to us too. And so on top of not being able to find our car, the mortars going off, everybody's pretty much wasted in this lot, and also trying to rush to get onto the gravel road to get out. Well, you're at a complete standstill because nobody wants to let you in because they can't move and they want to get out. Traffic on the actual main road had to be stopped to let people out. It was madness. It was absolutely horrible. I didn't get home that night until 4, and I probably fell asleep at the wheel a couple of times. Like, let's be real. It was, that part in general was a horrible experience. If I redid it and knew that the campsite that they were staying at allowed dogs, I literally would have stayed up there. I did not know that. But second night, all right? Second night, I'm thinking to myself, all right, I need to avoid this process again. I have to. I cannot go through that again. I will fall asleep at the wheel. I might not make it home. So go figure that there are more people that are thinking the same thing that I am. So theoretically, getting out, it wasn't bad compared to what it was first night. However, all my first row people that tried to get out of that first row on the left side of the gravel road understand the pain that is getting stuck in that mud. There was so much mud there. Every single car got stuck. I wish I would have taken a picture of my car right now, because there's still mud everywhere. I had somebody at my job yesterday. They were like, oh, did you go off-roading? I'm like, no, I got stuck in a parking lot at a festival. But I remember I'm pulling out and I'm like, okay, I'm about to get out first. This is great. and I see this car in front of me, and all of a sudden I hear, I was like, oh no. And mentally, so the way the rows were set up too, I was going to turn left first and not go down that lane, but I decided to go ahead and go down the lane, not worry about it. Two cars in front of me get stuck. I was like, oh shoot. So they get out of the car real quick, push this guy out. Next car gets stuck. I'm like, shit, dude, you got to be kidding me. Well, I've got 4-wheel drive. I'm in an SUV. I'm like, oh, this is money, dude. Like, I ain't got to worry about nothing. So I start going. I hit that same spot. I was like, no, dude. I was like, there's no way. I just got stuck. Sure enough, I could not move. And so I didn't get out of my car to help the other people, so I felt bad asking for help. Luckily, thank you to the people that were behind me. I didn't even get to talk to them. I didn't say a word. I just said, hey, I need help getting out. They immediately got out of their cars, pushed me out. They were also kind of pissed off because there were a lot of bystanders that just weren't helping people, and they're like, y'all are going to get stuck too, so if you want assistance, like, you need to help us. Like, that's how it goes. But that in general, like, that part was just, that was madness. Not fun. So yeah, if you guys can figure out the parking, if there's ever a reunion part 2, let's figure out the parking going forward, please.
Yeah, because I mean the issue is they just didn't have any workers working it.
Right.
So it was just like everybody for themselves. So
Yeah, I mean, you had people literally crossing 5 rows and almost hitting people. Like, night 1, no one cared. There was not a single person that cared. If you got into a wreck night 1, so be it. Like, it don't matter. It is what it is. But outside of that, the experience is really good. Kind of tagging along with that, with the favorite moment. So like I had mentioned earlier, you know, just the environment itself and being in a place where a ton of people share the same love that you do. And I remember talking to this guy. I forgot his name, if I'm being honest with you, but I know he's from Chicago. And it was also his first time being at Legend Valley. And we were talking about just that experience altogether. He came with a few friends just like I did. And he was telling me, you know, I've never been to anything like this. I'm going to be at Lost Lands. And I was kind of nervous coming in because I didn't know what to expect. And I'm like, there are so many people that are also experiencing the same thing. So, like, not only am I sharing an experience of being back at a festival, at a show, the love for this community and this genre of music, but also, like, I'm sharing this experience with other people. And I think that moment right there of just connecting with a random stranger, we talked for 15, 20 minutes. And, you know, in today's society, I'm going to be honest, it's hard to go out and talk to a lot of random strangers and have a meaningful conversation with them and actually get something out of it, especially for that long. That kid could have easily walked off at any time. He could have brushed me off. He could have been like, dude, you're weird. Stop talking to me. But nobody really does that. I mean, the compliments that I got, I had a random merch booth worker who was like, I love your nails. And I was like, huh? These? What? Like, it was so confusing because I'm not used to things like that. And normally, you know, people would see, I mean, I got judged going up at stopping at gas stations. People would see my nails and they're like, ew, like, you're weird, dude. Like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm fine. I was just in a community that accepts everybody and everything, and they don't care about what you do, who you are, what you want to be. You know, that's why I enjoy going to these type of shows, these types of festivals. And I talked about that on my Facebook post. You know, it's good to be back in an environment like that. It's really something special, regardless of whether or not, you know, it's one thing to like the music. I will say that. I've had people that are like, oh, you know, I'd love to go to a festival or a show with you. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but do you like the music? Because if you're going to be in this environment for 4 or 5 hours of your day or night, whatever, don't be there just to be stupid and look around. Like, I want you to be able to experience the positivity and the love that's there, but I also want you to enjoy the music. Because if you don't enjoy the music, you're not gonna have a good time. I mean, it's that simple. By the first hour, you're probably gonna be like, all right, dude, I'm ready to go. But yeah, I think that was probably my favorite moment. I know that's kind of like a broad view of it, but it's the truth. What about you?
Favorite moment. I think it's really just walking down that hill for the first time and seeing like the dinosaurs on the stage. I mean, I don't know. It felt so nice, you know, because there was a point where I was going to a lot of shows and festivals, and then COVID happened, and then nothing. And I didn't go to any drive-ins or anything like that. So it was nice just going back and getting to experience, a mini version of Lost Lands.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, it makes me so much more excited for actual Lost Lands when it gets here.
Very
Another
true.
cool moment was, which I think Kristen actually told me it was her favorite moment. There was actually a woman there. She was like 43 years
40s.
old.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember seeing that couple. Yeah.
And Kristen sat there and talked to her, and like they complimented each other. She actually gave Kristen like an Excision candy bracelet.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she was telling her like she's like, listen, never stop. She's like, do constantly go to shows, go to festivals, do it all.
Yeah.
So like it was just cool seeing that, because like I said, she was like in her 40s, and she was rocking out. She was in the crowd. She was deep in the crowd. Like
I know. I
So-
remember exactly what you're talking about too, because I had pointed them out, and there are several times that I've been to shows, or I remember the Zed show that we went to in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. I mean, it was a show, but it wasn't a show. It was a weird setup.
Right.
But behind my group, there was an older couple that was probably in their 60s maybe, and they had talked about like all the experiences that they've been to. They've been to Bonnaroo a bunch, they've been to Electric Forest, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I want to be that. Like, it's
Right.
so cool that these people, and they could easily just hang it up at any given time, but they love the music, they love the community, they love the experience so much that they're not letting their lives stop them from doing that. And just having that opportunity, or thinking about having that opportunity 5-6 years down the road, I mean, like, that in itself is cool. Now I might have to get a better massage gun, because my neck after night one hurt tremendously bad. It was horrible. Like, I remember driving up, and I'm like, and it was so funny because subconsciously in the crowd, I'm sitting there and like I'm still headbanging, but there was times where I would like go to touch my neck and like try to crack my neck, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't, because people would probably look at me like, bro, you're soft. And I'm like, dude, I haven't done this in so long, so it sucks. But yeah, it was so cool to see all the different groups of people that were there too. I think there was just a ton of different groups. There were people from the Cincinnati area. I saw them post pictures, and I think I ran into them. I just didn't say anything because I forgot, or I didn't recognize that it was them at that particular time. So that was super sick. But I think going forward, like they said, I'm super excited for Lost Lands. I'm super excited too to have the opportunity to do this. I know it's kind of one of those shorter streams, but I just want to have the opportunity to talk about experiences and share the things that I've been able to do and things that I've gone through, and see what other people's experiences are. Everybody has their own story when it comes to electronic dance music. For me, I know I'll probably get a lot of grief for it, but the Chainsmokers, if you want to theoretically talk about recent activity, the Chainsmokers back in 2017 were probably the first little bit of EDM that I actually went to a show, experienced that live. My buddy at the time, Jacob Berg, he was the one that kind of he came back from China and he was one of the tellers at the bank that I was working at. And I remember we would listen to the Chainsmokers on the radio at work, and one thing led to another, and then the Chainsmokers wound up coming to Cincinnati, and we are like, bro, let's go. And ever since then, I kept trying to go to more and more shows. I started to listen to heavier stuff, and then I found out about Excision, and then Excision led to Solomon King, and just it was a trickle down effect from there. And so, that's kind of just how my story started with that, and it's awesome to talk to other people, see how they got into it. So I think going forward with this, I'd love to continue to do this. I don't really care if it's one of those things that blows up or not. I'll be posting these on YouTube. It'll probably be a little bit of a shortened version, but it'll be like a podcast series, Bros and Shows. We'll probably try to do one a week, 45 minutes to an hour, just talk about things. Probably next week, I'd like to dive a little more into personal experiences and talk to people about how they got to this point. I want to say the next show that I'm trying to go to, I know Lawrence Anderson is doing a free show next week at Fountain Square. I love her. She's awesome. Never heard of her or haven't seen her. Highly suggest it. But the next paid show that I'm trying to go to is Louis the Child. They're going to be in Louisville with Jai Wolf on the 11th of August. And I really want to go to that. I love them. They're good. Their new album's really good, and Jai Wolf is a treat. I've seen him in Indianapolis. He was fantastic. His vibes are great. I know he's doing an original DJ set, but he had said yesterday that a lot of his stuff is going to be brand new edits of things. So super, super excited to see that. Hopefully I can share those experiences with everybody. I'm glad that some people stopped by and was hanging out for a little bit. If you enjoy it and you've got friends that are interested in the EDM community, share the channel, share the post, share the conversations. If you've got clips, share those clips too. I want more people to be able to come into this and kind of grow from that, because the community is huge, and finding more and more people that connect with you about the same things that you love, it kind of gives you an out, allows you to talk about things. It's so fun to have that opportunity. I look forward to those Fridays whenever a new song comes out, and I'm Snapchatting Trowski like, bro, have you heard this yet? Or Trowski sending me a Snapchat like, I'm checking out the new album. So things like that are fun, and it's awesome to have more and more people to share that experience with. So I'm super, super, super excited. So we'll be live again next week. I might make this like a Thursday thing and just run it off of that, depending on people's availability. I can't even talk right now. But yeah, I do want to show one more video. I just want to talk. We were talking about that first night, and this is kind of just what we were talking about with that experience, because it was so unique, so awesome to see. Oh my god, dude.
Modern Apex Predator located. Decimate all humans.
I mean, who does an intro like that, dude? Oh my god, it's so insane, man. Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just the amount of production that goes behind like his sets. It's just incredible. Like, you see artists like Subtronics, you're like, man, his production is great. But then you see Excision, and then
He
just,
blows
like,
you out of the
blows
water.
Yes, it's
Like,
insane.
his digital artist team, hats off to you. You guys, fantastic. Even the Lost Lands lineup announcement was awesome. I mean, just bravo.
Yeah.
I had a fantastic weekend. I'm glad that was my first experience at Legend Valley. I'm glad I've had the opportunity to share that with friends. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it off there. I hope that those of you guys that stopped by enjoyed it. I hope you guys can share some experiences with me next time. Like I said, next week we'll be back live again with personal experiences. We'll talk a little bit about that, and you guys get an opportunity to share it with other people. Hey, let them know. Come hang out. We'll have some fun. We'll talk live music. We'll talk personal experiences. We'll share our favorite memories, and we'll have a good time. So thank you guys again for hanging out. And I will see you guys next week.